and welcome to Pitbull Audio Gear Previews. I'm Trishes from EnterTalk Radio, and today we're at the Pitbull Audio showroom in San Diego. I'm here with James from Korg, and he's going to tell us about the Korg Electribe.
Thank you very much. So the Electribe is a powerful electronic music production station. Don't let its size fool you. There's a lot of power under the hood here. We have 16 independent parts that can each be sequenced by themselves, make really big patterns. Each part can hold a sound, and that sound could be a PCM sound or a synthesizer that you can sculpt yourself. So any part that you pick, you immediately have control over that part. Filters, you can add an effect, and that's completely independent of the next part and the next part and the next part. You can also play any part chromatically, so if I find a synthesizer like that, I can start. And you can choose scales, so now no matter where you hit, you're good.
Cool.
Right? You could also do that with the XY pad.
Oh! Wait, what is this doing?
Well, right now it's just generating notes. So I can do faster or slower, or I could use touch scale, which will just.
Oh, cool!
This also controls effects. So if I go back to trigger mode where I can play live, kind of dry.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you could choose what parts have the master effect or not as well. So in addition to all of this, a lot of recording power, and by the way, you can also sequence external gear, 16 channels of external gear with it as well. So this can act as your sequencer even if you don't use the sounds inside of it.
Oh, wow.
But if you do use the sounds inside of it and you're creating patterns like the ones that you can basically hear just by scrolling through. Let's say you want to take one of those and you want to work on it a little further in your DAW. Well, the Electribe allows you to basically bounce your pattern, each of the 16 parts, to a WAV file, and then it also creates an Ableton Live file. And that goes right onto an SD card, which is optional. When you do that bounce, you can take that SD card, put it right in your computer, and it loads a live file, and the 16 parts of the pattern come up automatically in Ableton Live.
That's awesome. Super easy.
Yeah, totally. So now you've got this great relationship between working in hardware and working in software.
Right.
So there's also a sampler version of this available. So what we're hearing right now is the Electribe synthesizer, which has PCM and synthesizers built into it, and you can of course sculpt those to your heart's content. And then there's one that's sampler based that has a few synthesizers in it, you know, to help you generate some like synthesizer basses and things like that. But the focus on that one is to basically either use the samples that are on board or record in your own samples, and you can chop them and you can speed them up and slow them down. So if you're used to working in a sample environment as opposed to a synthesizer environment, then we have an Electribe for you as well.
Cool.
We also just introduced a new Electribe Blue and an Electribe Sampler Red, which are kind of nods to the previous Electribes, which were very, very cool blue and red. And with that came the 2.0 software, and the 2.0 software gives you some user-requested features. Pattern Chain, which lets you take patterns and put them together to create full songs. Original Value Indicator, so that when you're scrolling a knob, you actually know where that knob was in the pattern, so you don't get as lost. And also, we have one level undo. So if you recorded something in the sequencer and you didn't like it, as opposed to having going into the sequencer and unlighting all of the steps that you created, you could just hit a button and you can just undo it and you're ready to go there. Yeah, and then we've also put up almost 400 patterns online, brand new patterns for both the Electribe Synth and the Electribe Sampler that you could download and put into your Electribe and explore with.
Very cool.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
And thank you.
I'm Trishes with EnterTalk Radio, and this has been a Pitbull Audio Gear Preview.